Rogue Shepherd, the Rogue Man. Go ahead, Rogue Shepherd. Permission to deliver elephant in the room. Permission granted.
We finna see what they do with an elephant in the room, where the local legends come true. That's not the way to combat it. I was in the womb writing double entendres, hooked to a machine like I'm Conway. Serve me a plate, tengo hambre. No, it is the.
Good day, everyone. Chaplain Brown, Rogue Shepherd, and this is another exciting episode of Elephant in the Room. Now, a few weeks ago, we began this series on character, and then we began to focus on leadership. Now, that was intentional because that we know that leadership is the acronym for all the 7 Army values. So I wanted to focus on leadership first and then dive into the Army values along the way. And there's no greater leadership style, in my personal opinion, than that of servant leadership. All leadership styles are essential and must be inserted at the correct point of time. It's just servant leadership speaks so many volumes to me in particular. And as you learn from the character video, it's just one of the aspects of my faith. One of the most important aspects of my faith is being a servant leader. And it's not just about being a servant leader in the organization, in the community and so forth like that, the Army community. It's about being a servant leader at home. And we have many servant leaders in our homes or in our families and so forth that really support us in a lot of things that we do. And I understand there are frustrations and so forth that go on. But servant leadership is just, we have families that are doing this on a regular basis. And it is also a time to recognize those servant leaders that are so dear to us and also be a servant leader. But without continuing on my soap opera box there, I just want to go ahead and get straight into the video.
Leadership is a big proposition, but it's a pretty simple idea, right?
Simple.
Do whatever you can to help others be their best.
Yes.
And see where that takes you. And it really shouldn't be about where it takes you, it's where it takes us. What do we have a chance to accomplish together?
So being a servant leader, bring out the best in those individuals around us, especially our families as well, and seeing where it takes us. And I've ran across many individuals, that speaks on the topic of the team. There's very minor individuals that speaks on a topic of where things takes them. And I will say that it's okay to focus on about where things take you in the end and having that career development and so forth like that. In addition to that, the bigger picture is seeing where things takes us as an organization, where it takes us as a team, and bringing out the best of people to see where it takes us. And that's the same thing when it comes to our families and our friends and so forth like that, bringing out the best of them in them to see where it takes us in general. Because in your family, and I hope that this is the idea, when one of you make it, you try to ensure that everyone, achieves their goals and so forth like that. And that's what it's all about. Togetherness and that the whole scheme of life, because you need a community. And that was the very first episode that we spoke about, was community, that family. It takes a village in everything. It takes a village to raise a child, to raise us. It takes a community of leaders to help us to be a leader. It takes just a team of people and many communities of people in order to bring out the best in everyone. And being a servant leader is serving that purpose, seeing where it takes us as a team, as a group, as a family, So what is your mission as a family? And I won't get too far ahead of the video, but I want you to think about that. What is your mission as a family? All right.
Can we build something together that is special and has a chance to last? Can we make it about something bigger than just maybe the bottom line even, although we have to win games. And we tell our guys all the time, we have our mission is to win the next game. Our mission is to build a dynasty. I think that's business and sports and whatever, you have a mission. But within that, maybe the broader mission is, how we are around one another. And if we can help each other accomplish what we all need to accomplish together, we have a chance to be great. It's tough to decide.
And let's just think about that. What is our mission? What do we need to accomplish together? If you're in a relationship, maybe you want to get to that goal of marriage. So what do you need to accomplish when it comes to on that road of marriage? Maybe you're in a marriage and you want to have a healthy marriage and ensure that it's always healthy. What does it take to get to that point and working together in that point? When it comes to the parenting relationships and so on like that, what does it take to have a great parenting relationship? So just thinking about all those things, what does it take to have an amazing friendship? What does it take to be an essential part of whatever community you decide to embark on or whatever club you decide to embark on? The importance of serving to accomplish a goal that is tied between many people. Whether it's you and your spouse or two people, you and your whole family of 4, 5, 6, 7, however many individuals, what does it take? What is our goal together? So just a key part when it comes to servant leadership.
Where to spend your time and who to spend your time with. For me, it's somewhat orderly because we have coordinators, we have coaches, and we have quarterbacks, and I can kind of pick my spots, but it kind of comes to you every day more than that. We have a lot of hours in the day. A lot of hours in the day where sometimes it's easier to kind of sit back and hide in your office, maybe get involved in some paperwork or something like that, when really what you need to be doing as a leader is you need to be going out and finding who you need to be helping do what they do and try to help them do it well. So it kind of comes to you. Where are we not playing as well? Is our defensive line struggling against the run a little bit? Has someone had a person?
I just want to touch on that, right? And the coach here is talking about time. And in the military, sometimes we have a good amount of time to focus, and we don't always take advantage of that time. Like taking advantage of that time to actually train and give back and give more. And sometimes that comes from fatigue and so forth like that. So that time is very precious. And sometimes you have very little time, especially when you go into the field, especially when you go on rotations and deployments and so forth like that. So time, it can be a lot of time. It could be very little time. And there's so many factors that plays into what you do with that time. If you're extremely tired, you may not put a lot of effort at times, and you may just focus on, one little small area instead of focusing on the other areas that also need attention. And we all do this as human beings. We all when it comes to our time, sometimes we manage it well, sometimes we mismanage. And the idea is to do everything that we can to maximize our time. And that goes for our families, to maximize the time that we have with them. A lot of times, and this, I would say this is a principle for that we can apply across the board, that when we don't have time to focus on the quality. And I would say to always focus on the quality of time, because quantity is not always available. And a lot of times you can have quantity and do nothing valuable with it. So focusing on quality time. If you have 10, 15 minutes together with whoever that you're trying to spend time with and prioritize time with, then try to make it the most meaningful 10 minutes. Try to make it something that you both come out even more connected afterwards with. So maximize that time. And I have struggles as well with this, maximizing time and finding those and finding those grooves where or time slots where I can fully maximize the time where I have at the unit and serving the community, our Army community, and also at home serving my family community because they give so much to me. And it's hard on all sides. It's hard for families. If you got working families where both parents working, or all your friends are working and siblings working, and people in different clubs and schools and so forth like that, it is hard. And it takes for everyone to come and sync together and determine what is the mission here. What is our goal to have quality time, meaningful time, building connection and empowering each other. So that's key. That is the very principle of servant leadership, coming together and doing what it takes to do that. If that means that I need to pick up some more chores at home, then I need to pick up some more chores at home, so that way we can have a quality time, or prioritizing certain things so that we can have that time together. So just as much work I put into my organization, I want to make sure that I'm putting just as much work at home. And a lot of times I can't do it all at the same time, but I need to give maximum effort and make the best of that time. So we all have struggles with it across the board. And it's just one of these things that we have to continue to focus on and work together and get organized about. A lot of times it's organization. And there's some things we can't control, which we know is the case, and we all come across that line, or we all come across that challenge. But to whatever we can to get organized, plan things out, and make the absolute best, maximize quality time.
There's no problem. Where do you need to inject yourself and be involved with people? But one of the things I found to be most powerful is something that my boss taught me. If I'm not sure what to ask or not sure what to say, there are 4 powerful words. What do you think? So as I work my way around the building and I get into a conversation with somebody, I'm not exactly sure how to approach them. I can always say, how's it going? And what do you think? How can we be better? How can you make us better?
What do you think? When you have, these connections with whoever you consider, family, and whoever you prioritize your time with, and sometimes you just don't know what to do. Sometimes the best thing is to sit in silence and enjoy each other's presence. Sometimes it's like, what do you think? Spark some conversation. Have some topics to talk about, especially when it comes to marriage and when it comes to children. Having those shared activities and say, hey, what do you think about this? Doing things together. Try when you can make certain key events and so forth like that. Make those events. And like I said, it's hard. And it's hard on the family. Like, especially, I would say hats off to just single moms, single dads, single spouse. And what I mean by that is, at home moms, at home dads, at home spouses, and so forth. Because it takes a lot of work to keep things together. It takes a high level of executive functioning to manage everyone's schedule and try to accomplish every task and keep, cooking and so forth, which can take hours to have a great meal, and going to all these sports activities, and then trying to support your service member in their unit when it comes to a lot of things, and being present for many of those things, especially when your service member can't always be present for the things that that you value and all the things that you're doing. So it is hard for our families, and I just want to acknowledge that it's not easy at all on either side, on the service member or on the family, whoever you consider family. It's not easy. But this is where we come together and we talk about things and we continue to build connections and we plan and we say, hey, what do you think about this? And just have that shared understanding, that togetherness, and where does it take us? How do I make you better, and how do you make me better? Same thing for kids. Sometimes just going to school, doing everything that you need to do, and supporting your family in that way alleviates a lot of stress and so forth. And also for service members when you're home, helping out if you can do homework. And I'm speaking like kids relationship, parent kids relationship, like when you can do those things, to give maximum effort, do those things. And these are not things that I'm just trying to tell you what to do, not at all. These are things that I also are challenges for me at times when there are conflicting priorities and so forth. And how do I give my best to the organization? How do I give my best to my family? How do I give my best to my church community? How do I give my best to my extended family in different areas and so forth like that? So just to keep those things in mind, where it takes us doing what it takes, so that way you all can accomplish your goals that you have together.
You got a good idea? Are you happy?
Are you happy?
Are we at our best?
Are we at our best?
It's pretty amazing what people will tell you when you give them that opportunity.
Yes.
The first thing is coming to the realization that you don't drive the car all the time. You've got to be smart,
No.
you've got to be tough, you've got to make good decisions and use good judgment, all those kind of things. But you've got to have faith, trust, belief. You got to empower the people around you. You've got to believe in them. Trust but verify, absolutely. Be on top of things without question. But you put a group of people around you that you really love and you really care about, it's pretty easy to serve them.
Yes.
It's pretty easy to want to see them at their best. And you've got to check your own heart.
And I would say that, like, if you really care for them, if you really care for whoever, if you really care for your soldiers and so forth, your supervisors and so forth like that, if you really care for them, it makes it easier to serve them. And the coach here is going to get into, checking your heart. But it's easy to serve. You care about your family, it's easier to serve. When it comes, and it may not be the tasks or the different things that you want to serve them with, or serve them on. Trying to get my words here right. It's easier to want to serve them. It doesn't make it easier to serve. It makes it easier to want to serve. And when you want it, you more than likely will do it. So just keep those things in mind. And I keep the same things in mind. The same things that I'm speaking, it's the same things that I'm trying to practice on a regular basis. And I'm not perfect at it either. But it's the same things that I'm practicing on a regular basis.
I think when we get into the day-to-day conversations, and sometimes we all fall down, but you get into that day-to-day conversations, you've got to ask yourself, hey, where's my heart on this?
Where
am I coming from on this? Do I really care about this person? And if you really want them to feel like you care about them, the best way to do that is to actually care about them.
And that's true. Where's your heart? Where's your heart on this? Do you really care about them? Are the actions that I'm doing intentional? Am I thinking about what I'm doing? So just keep these things in mind as we, serve others. And again, it's not just doing everything for them and stuff like that. It's doing the things that help us accomplish the goal together. If that means that I need to every now and then take out the trash for the folks that I serve, then I will take out the trash for them if it serves that purpose. If it also shows leading by example, like doing the things to empower others. So that's what it is to be a servant leader. At least from this video, or parts of it, I should say. And with that, I'm going to leave you with a scripture from my faith tradition. And it's from Matthew 23:11-12. And I read off my screen here. It says, "The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." So again, servant leadership. And I truly believe that the greatest among us are those who want to serve, who are willing to serve, and who are serving. This is Rogue Shepherd signing off.